Megan returns to her parents' house after learning that her father is on his deathbed. Together with her mother, Barbara, she cares for him and manages his morphine doses, but the inevitable eventually happens. The man passes away. However, the story doesn't end there. It turns out Barbara has arranged for an occult magician to come and attempt to bring the deceased back to life through a special ritual. In 2016, the horror film A Dark Song was released worldwide. A subtle, poignant ballad about how far a mother will go to bring her dead child back from the other side. The film wasn't a box office hit, but found a cult following on home video. This premise has been revisited numerous times since, for instance in the poorly received From Black, or the critically acclaimed Bring Her Back. On the surface, The Surrender appears to be another variation on the same theme. But the devil, as they say, is in the details. In all the films mentioned above, as well as in, say, Stephen King's Pet Sematary, which also partly inspired them, the story was about parents trying to bring a child back. This is a very understandable narrative core that requires no additional explanation. For parents, there is nothing more painful than the death of a child. The writer and director of The Surrender, Julia Max, sets her sights on a more complicated problem. Here, Barbara's motives for performing the ritual are far more ambiguous. And whether you like the film or not largely depends on how right you think the events are and how relatable you find the feelings at the heart of the central conflict. On the surface, the family dynamics of the main character seem straightforward. There's an adult daughter who isn't prepared for the hardships of a terminal illness, her dying father and his devoted wife, who is so attached to her husband that she can't let him go even after death. But this is only the top layer, hiding a much more complex web of issues that is gradually revealed, step by step. As it turns out, Megan's memories of her father are idealized. He wasn't perfect, but his imperfections are so intertwined with her mother's trauma that she simply cannot imagine life without him. The Surrender is a film about codependency, toxic relationships, trauma, and processing it. It's crucial to see Barbara as Max intended her. A woman so deeply broken, so accustomed to a life of psychological abuse and a constant sense of guilt and inadequacy, that being free from it all feels like leaving her comfort zone. She clings to any chance to keep things the same. Her daughter, on the other hand, must accept her parents in all their imperfection and work through her distorted memories and trauma to break the cycle, quite literally by the film's end. When viewed through the lens of these metaphors, The Surrender makes a very strong impression, with its boldness, maturity, and refusal to take the easy way out. It is simultaneously a deep psychological drama and a visually effective horror film that only bears its teeth in the final act. But when it does, it goes all out. It doesn't reach the poignant heights of A Dark Song, but it commands respect for its emotional depth and maturity, and definitely deserves a recommendation, especially if you enjoy complex psychological horror. And a special note should be made for Kate Burton. Her Barbara is possibly the best role of her 40-year career.